Welcome to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost with me, Charly Leetham. If you're a small business owner looking to simplify technology and get real, actionable advice from someone with 35 years of IT experience, you're in the right place. Every episode, I'll dive into tools and systems like email, CRM, marketing and tracking, and I'll break them down into bite-sized tips you can use straight away. Your time is valuable, so let's get straight to the point. It's time to work smarter, not harder. Rise and shine. It's your dose of business tech inspiration with me, Charly Leetham, episode number 628. And we're going to be talking about subdomains and subdirectories and which is the best approach for you to take for your business when you're setting up your website. If you've ever built or managed a website, you've probably faced the question, should my blog or store live on a subdomain like blogmysite.com or storemysite.com, or should we put it into a subdirectory like mysite.com/blog, mysite.com/store? It's one of those web decisions that affects not just your SEO, but your branding and your user experience and even security. Today, I'm going to go through all of that and try and explain it and hopefully demystify some of it. Before we actually get into the why we would why and what, let's talk about what these things are. We're talking about subdomains and subdirectories. A subdomain is like an offshoot of your main website, store.mysite.com. It's got that prefix in front of your domain name, help.mysite.com, blog.mysite.com. Technically, it's treated as its own site, even though it's still running under your main domain name. So there's got an association, but it's classed as a completely different site. A subdirectory is like a folder on your website. Instead of blog.mysite.com, you would have mysite.com/blog. Everything lives under one roof, but in organized rooms. Some classical examples of this. First of all, let's look at Google. Google's a great one, and then I'll give you some personal examples for myself. Maps.google.com is a subdomain, while google.com/about is a subdirectory. For myself, support.askcharlyleetham.com goes to my support portal, but askcharlyleetham.com/book-me goes to my booking page. It's on my site. So my support portal is a separate experience under my brand, but it's a completely separate experience. Why would you use a subdomain or a subdirectory? Why would we do it? So subdomains are often used when content serves different functions, like I said, like a support portal or an e-learning hub, or in Google's case, the Maps function. That's an app that Google runs. Subdirectories are perfect when your content when your content directly supports your main site, like a blog or resources section for SEO. So that's why that's the two differences, and that's what you would use them for, separate experiences, or you're just trying to organize content in logical fashion. I want to talk about the SEO implication and how the search engines treat subdomains versus subdirectories. Subdomains, Google treats them as completely separate sites. They do not share the SEO authority of your main site. So if you're looking to build a blog and you put your blog up on blog.mysite.com, you will need to build the reputation for that blog from scratch, and it will not share its authority with your main site. If you wanted to do that, if you had it as a subdirectory, for example, mysite.com/blog, all of that SEO work that you're doing with your blog, all of the articles that you're putting up, all of that work that you're doing to build your authority, raise your rankings, that is going to be shared by your main site. So everything is lifted up as part of it. We call that as the authority, the SEO authority of the site. It also has an impact on keyword strategy and content categorization. Subdirectories allow you to consolidate your keyword strategy. One central site, one keyword ecosystem. Subdomains will fragment your data and make it harder to track that performance holistically. I will cover that in a minute to explain what I mean by that shortly. Technical SEO considerations are your sitemaps and your linkings. Subdomains require separate sitemaps, they require separate linking strategies, and sometimes they require their own Google Search Engine Console or Google Search Console setup. Subdirectories, on the other hand, can share everything seamlessly, and it just makes the SEO management that much easier. So, when to use each for optimal SEO performance? Well, you wouldn't use a subdomain if you were trying to build the SEO authority of your main domain. You would use a subdomain if you've got a distinct audience or you're offering different products like a store or academy or a support hub, for example. Where it's at is the subdirectories. If your goal is unified SEO growth and consistent branding, you want to use subdirectories. The other thing to consider here is your branding and user experience. A single domain using subdirectory looks and feels more cohesive to your visitors. Users immediately know they're still interacting with your brand. Subdomains, on the other hand, can make experience feel split or disconnected, though that can be useful if you want that separation, but subliminally, if people are watching that address bar, and they do watch the address bar, and they see the domain change from askcharlyleetham.com to services.askcharlyleetham.com, there's that thought of, am I still on the same site? Is this still the same people? Even if it's not recognized up front, it's still there in the back of the brain. Yeah, and that comes down to that navigation flow and user trust. Users tend to feel more comfortable when they stay on the one domain. Too many subdomains can look like redirects or third-party sites, and that's that subtle trust reduction. The next point is the analytics and the marketing challenges. Subdomains can complicate tracking in Google Analytics. You'll often need cross-domain tracking to get a full picture of a user's behavior. Subdirectories simplify this by keeping all of your data under one roof. Now, I promised I'd dig into that just a little bit before. What I mean by that is, if you have subdomains, you will need a different Google Analytics property for each subdomain. And then when someone hits your site, you are going to have to pull the reports from this subdomain and this subdomain and this subdomain, and then mash them all together somehow to try and get that feel of the user came in here, they went off here, they did this, they did that. Whereas if you're using subdirectories, you can just see that all the way through because it's one site. It's classed as one cohesive site. So what is the best option if you're trying to grow your brand, if you're trying to do your SEO? If your brand is expanding into new areas or markets, you should consider subdomains for flexibility. So if for example, askcharlyleetham.com, we provide services. I help people build their businesses online. You hire me so that you can go and do what you do best, and I'll just look after the IT stuff for your online business. If I was to, for example, get into selling PCs or selling hardware, I might have stored or asked charlieleetham.com. I don't know. I'm terrible at branding. I really have to think about it. And that would be my hardware side of the business. So I'd have my services side over here, and stored or asked Charlie Leetham would be my hardware side of the business, for example. But if your focus is on strengthening and having one consistent brand identity, if you want to build your SEO, if you're trying to build that SEO authority so that you get the rankings in the search engines, you really need to stick with subdirectories. Don't go to subdomains. Which one wins? The best choice depends on your goals. Unified SEO and branding, subdirectories are your best friend. If you're running distinct experiences or separate audiences, use subdomains. At the end of the day, search engines follow your structures. Your users are going to follow your trust. So bear that in mind when you're looking at it. What do you guys think? What have you thought? What have you seen? What have you done? Have you tried using subdomains? Has it confused you in the past? Do you look at someone when they give you a subdomain and go, why are they on a subdomain? What are they doing that for? Does this make more sense to you? Have I asked more questions than I've answered? I would love to know. Come across and join my community. Ask Charly Leetham.locals.com. I would love to have you there and host that conversation. You can always leave comments wherever you are watching or listening to these videos. I will answer them eventually. I'm a little slow. I'm writing up some courses and I'm doing some stuff in the background here, and that gets a little slow at times, but I will answer them eventually. If this video was useful to you, I would sincerely appreciate the like. That does help the algorithm. And if you share it with someone else so that they can watch it as well, that would help as well. And if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you find out when I drop more content. And guys, I'll see you all the day after tomorrow. Bye. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost. I hope today's episode gave you some actionable insights that will make your business tech work smarter for you. If you found value, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other small business owners who could use a daily boost. For more tips, tools, and resources, visit www.askcharlyleetham.com. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and let's make tech simple together.